Hello, hello. To anyone out there watching, this is your boy Lelouch V from the Then and Now podcast. You're now watching the Then and Now game stream. I'm here with my brother, my guy over here, my little Zig, and we're getting into some Diablo 4, man. So, it's Daniel. How are you feeling about this young game that we're playing?
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I haven't played a game like this in a while. Like I haven't played any of the Diablos. So I love this kind of game. Like,
So, this is your first Diablo?
mm-hmm.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, man. You know, I feel like I picked a good one. I heard the third one was really good.
Third one was great. And I mean, Diablo is the originator of the looter genre. Like the looter games came from this.
Nah, I did a little bit of research and found that out. So I was like, okay, this sounds like I want to buy this game. What will make me want to buy it? And I remember thinking like, I was salty that I came late. I guess I was just born late to the World of Warcraft hype. And I'm just like, it's just too late to get into it. Everyone's so maxed out and all the gear and all that. But I feel like with Diablo, I kind of have an opportunity to just get my feet wet in a game like this.
This is like the closest thing to a WoW on consoles. And I think that's intentional because I mean, Blizzard they've had their hands in that for a long time. So, but for everybody watching, tell us a little bit about your build. I know we spoke about it off cam, but let the people know if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, man. So no minions for me. I'm a necromancer, but I want to perfect like a crit build where I don't need my minions, and I'm just out here chucking bones at people and cursing them. It's like bone and blood magic for the most part.
That is literally the most unique necro build I've ever heard of in the Diablo franchise. So I mean, if you built that and it's capable of pushing in end game, you definitely gonna have to make some content around that build because I mean that's something that people would definitely be interested in. Me myself, I'm basic. You know what I'm saying? I got my young rogue, and we just shooting people with these arrows and laying out some acid traps and freeze traps, and making people freeze in place and melt slowly. You know what I'm saying? It works, but I mean, I only do that when the enemies are getting tough. Like early on, I'm just getting these shots off. Like they can't survive the the the, the pelting.
It's just an onslaught of arrows. I fuck with that. It's cool because I'm chucking bones, you're chucking arrows. I use it and it's like, do your abilities cordon off a certain area? Like,
I can. Okay. I mean, with the traps, yeah, they have like they're in a circular area. If you look at my screen, I'll throw it right now.
Yeah. Okay, bet. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have like my curses take up like the same spot. I got an amount of space, and so does my blight. I have when I make a corpse explode, it releases like a blight on the ground that siphons siphons that same amount of area of whoever's in it. Siphons their health away. So I feel like our abilities really complement each other.
And what is your like going into your specializations? Like, what kind of stuff you got going for that? Or have you played around with that at all yet?
I haven't really played around with it yet. I know I want to get into my gear, complementing just the abilities that I have. But I haven't really started farming yet because I'm just trying to hit level 50 right now.
I don't know. Not even for your. It's not for your gear. Like the in your regular character menu, there's the things for specialization. So like for mine, it's combo points. So when I get basic skills,
okay, I got the Book of the Dead. I have the
Book of the Dead. Okay, got
you. That's how I control.
Y'all hear me?
Yep. We can
hear you. What up, Cardi? But yeah, so I chose my I have the active the skirmisher in my Book of the Dead, but instead of the minions, I have a plus 5% chance to get crits,
Hmm.
and then I have the skeletal mages, but instead of my mages, I chose the bone mages, and I have a 40% chance that my overpowers increase.
Okay.
And then I have the iron golem. Instead of my golem, I have a 30% crit strike chance. So, yeah, that just goes with my Iron Maiden curse and I think it's called Decrepify.
So you're not using that spell miasma, are you?
No.
Good. Thank God, because I hate that spell so much.
Yeah.
Like it is really effective against crowd controlling enemies, but it makes it so like I can't actually see the people that I'm supposed to be shooting at, and that's like me is like that's literally my whole like everything to my build. So if I can't see, it causes some issues. I'm looking at you, Justin. I hope you see this.
So it's one spell I can't tolerate.
No, but when I start throwing out my traps, my hunter really my rogue really becomes a bully because my regular arrow shot is a ability called forceful arrow. So I get to like literally push people around, like anybody
Nice.
that's not a boss, so I can push them into my traps and make them sit in ice or sit in acid, and it's a knockdown. So like obviously you fall into it and you have to get back up, and if you're freezing that much time, it's gonna be a minute before you actually get out of it.
And you said you do more damage to like you do extra damage to like vulnerable people with debuffs.
Specifically poison and frozen enemies right now, but yeah, if someone is vulnerable, yeah, I do a lot more damage to that if you have if you're inflicting that.
That's what I'm like. My curses do that. I think my base attack that gives me back my essence. It has a chance to make enemies vulnerable as well.
Mm.
So I'm consistently proccing vulnerables every time.
Joining us in here, we finally officially got the Cardi experience. How you feeling over there, brother? Cardi? Uh-oh.
Having some internet issues. I might have to catch y'all next time.
Yeah. And hopefully it clears up, but I mean, oh yeah, yeah, she hits really hard.
Yeah, it's in my menu. Sweet. Believe it. But I gotta catch up all the way.
I mean, one thing that also might make you, well, maybe not necessarily happier, but I mean, once you get above 50, it takes so much longer to level up. You'll catch up to me relatively quick.
Hey, Bag, get the cats. They fighting. You hear that? I think it's another cat in here. Wow. Died again. Listening to my cat scream. Good rest. Let's go. But yeah, man, really, I just want to hit World Tier 3. That's really where I'm at.
Oh yeah,
I know the skill points are gonna come slow anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same here. I really want to hit World Tier 3 too. I want that World Tier 3 gear bad. Because I mean, every world tier you go up, I mean, the gear starts. I mean, it's just like how it was in Outriders. You know, as soon as you hit that next world tier, like all your gear that was really smacking at the previous one ain't really smacking no more. You know, so you get what you said. But I really enjoy it. Like I said, this is my favorite type of game. Honestly, if Destiny was built a little bit more like this from the story side, it might be the goal, honestly. Like just being able to being able to actually legitimately level up just from completing missions and and
choosing how
killing
you can level
enemies,
up, man.
and instead of being forced to just wait for the right gear drops to happen
Facts.
at the right time. Um, I don't know, man. There's just certain small fixes to Destiny that they can make that could make that the like V game, but they they're getting there. They're getting there slowly but surely.
And they're getting
But
paid, so it's like,
yeah. But right now, I mean, at the same time as this stream, is the game 4 of this young NBA
yeah,
Finals,
man.
my friend.
You already know,
I
man. I'm riding the heat all the way, bro. But it's like I'm not, obviously the Bulls my team, so I'm not, it's just it is what it is. But it's just like Jokic is amazing. Jamal Murray is amazing. Ooh, I wanted them freaking health. But
shit.
I feel like this is really gonna come. Like I feel like the Heat gonna win tonight. Like the Heat are gonna win tonight. They're gonna make adjustments, and that's gonna be that. But I want this to go 7. I want this to go 7. I feel like there's no reason why the Nuggets are Michael Porter Jr. playing bad away, from not completing this. Like, but at the same time, they can get contribution off the bench like they did last
Come
year.
revive me. Come revive me.
I did not know you're dead. My bad.
Move. We're gonna die.
No. I gotta tank it. Fuck! I thought I had you.
You did not.
It was done. That's cat.
This boss is a little tough.
And last time I did this, I had minions, so I'm glad I'm doing this without. Difference. All right, let's get it.
Yeah,
I need to balance the curses.
so preference wise, I greatly prefer like Jimmy and the two Jokic and the Nuggets, but like my basketball brain just tells me that the Nuggets they got too many advantages.
Mm-hmm. Heat are very much the underdogs, man. But like that's what's so good about just watching them in the playoffs right now. It's just like they're the underdogs, and they've just been beating teams like they're not. So that's cool. You kind of want to see them complete.
Didn't like some people had them as an underdog against the Knicks. I personally didn't.
I did.
I had them strongly as the favorite there. It was like,
wait, they played the Knicks after Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, they played the Knicks after Milwaukee.
So, after Milwaukee,
I was just like, sorry, Knicks, rip.
Right.
That I saw that being an ass whooping, and it turned out to be. So I was right. But yeah, against the Celtics, I mean, I actually did have that game that series going to 7, so it did. I just didn't have it going that way, of course, because like, what?
Yeah, that comeback at the end, it's like they decided to wake up. I can barely see that attack on the ground. That's what's fucking me up.
Yeah, you got little red. Yeah, like you got. I gotta see if like there's a way to like highlight like zones like that better. Because like, yeah, it's hard for me to see him too.
I'm definitely good. Reminds me of Neo with the little like soul sitting there.
So, question to you, my friend. Have you seen
Spider-Man? No.
So you have not.
No,
you have not.
I've been under a rock for like the past like 3 days, and I'm gonna see Spider-Man.
Nah, I mean you've been working. I mean, I understand, but I am sorry that you've had to delay yourself from greatness.
Man, I want to just go and catch it in the morning, bro, and just ride the high of watching it for the whole day. Because I've been hearing amazing things about it, and I've avoided spoilers for some reason.
I mean,
somehow.
Specifically for this Spider-Man, not too many people are gonna post spoilers because if you did, you're like a Uber dick. like for this movie particularly, if you post a spoiler about it, you are a very low type of human. So I'm
which
glad
is
that we
crazy.
haven't.
That like
Yeah,
it's like we haven't fallen that far. It's like okay. Mm, okay. I don't want to switch to my minions to beat this shit.
I can't see your
I'm
thing.
up the
Oh, there it is.
stairs.
There it
Yeah.
is. Okay. See, on my map, they're lying about where you are. They
Wow.
got you over there, like literally directly next to the boss. I was like, where is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta figure out just where I want to.
So on your necro, do you have any like movement abilities?
Yes, and that's what I'm gonna put with my last skill points. Is every time I cause, I think shadow damage, but I'm gonna have to change my build some. Every time I cause shadow damage, I get like a 5% speed increase, and I need that, especially not
Yes.
having minions, because the minions allow me to like have some maneuverability because they just push the boss away for the
Mhm.
most part.
Yeah, you can redirect aggro. There's a lot of advantages there. Yeah.
And that's why I'm
But
like, yeah, no minions, because like everybody be going crazy with them, man.
so one thing in this like in a with a melee build of any kind, like one thing you 1,000,000% need is a good ability that lets you move like immediately move from one place to another. Like so, like for me, I have a dash ability that lets me like jolt a few feet
What
away.
just happened?
Um, you got
I got
kicked.
what?
This is the worst possible time for that.
Okay.
That's not you. That's just this game. Like their servers are still really buggy. And before I start this up again, I'm going to go back to the main town and repair this gear because if you don't, you'll continue to get harder for you.
Yeah, I have that one basic little circle dodge that I am getting better at just using situationally. Like in the field, just using it with second nature. But at first, that shit was killing me. Having to wait like 4 seconds to dodge. Shit was good.
Yeah, I mean, I still got to do that too myself, but yeah, I've got two other movement abilities to kind of compensate for that when I need to get around. So like yeah, like I said, I got that X move that lets me do that dash. I actually can't. It's not letting me invite you.
Trying to hours traveling.
They said that most player must complete the prologue before they can join the party. But clearly, well, let me invite you to the clan too, of course. So join that. But if you can you on my screen, on your screen, request to join my party, and I'll just bring you in. You gotta if you touchpad and then go over to the social tab.
Are you paying offline? I see.
No, I am online. Did you get that clan invite? Because if you got that, you can find me through that actually, the clan tab.
Oh,
Of course, this man Darnell is on 60 already. Of course he is.
that's what I'm saying, bro. We out here tweaking. Gotta catch up. And I hate being at this place because like, why doesn't this armory like what does she need me to do? It's one of these side missions. She won't fix my gear.
I'm gonna fix your gear.
Yeah, like, it's making me have to do like a mission or something first.
I'll go to a different town then.
I'm trying. I don't even know how to pick the damn time. Fuck it, I'm gonna just fast travel. So press it down. She trash. Where's Kill Shot? Man, they approved my chickens, so I'm gonna be getting chickens in the next couple months, man.
Congrats there, brother.
Yeah.
But did you hit that the request to
Still don't see it. Let me see. But I still got it.
it's not letting me invite you again. It says you have oh no, that's not you. That's not you.
Okay, you invited me to play Diablo. I see that.
No, whatever reason. It's it says you're already in the clan, ready?
Oh, yeah. Forgot. Really this. It's only me and one other person in here. Alright. Got no invites or requests yet. Okay, I got the invite. He would name it after One Piece, bro.
Yeah.
I'm leaving this clan,
As you can see, I mean, actually, out of the people online for the clan, yeah, you are the lowest level, but not by much. You're down by 200 me. Once we beat this fucking mission, uh, we gonna get you up to the right level. Because I mean, story missions they give you more experience than anything else I've seen. Before I started doing story stuff, I was only on level 42, and I pushed up to 50 in no time.
So we're going to Whispers from the Past again?
Yeah, yeah. If you want to port on me, I'm in the dungeon.
Right.
Like her hits, like really hurt, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
So when I was playing this before, I had my minions they had a buff, so they were carving out flesh. So I would have a ton of corpses to use, and that's just how I was able to be there. So I'm like, if you unfair, I gotta be unfair, bro.
And I'm hitting her for a lot of damage, but like one little misstep and like it's a death.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get back my piece of I find another piece of armor that gives me a second dodge too. Like that shit is a huge difference maker.
You just gotta take your time fighting her. So, definitely about to die. Wow, right when the health falls.
So
Some balls.
no, but what did you think of the story? Since
I
since
really
you
enjoyed it, bro. I loved it. It's my kind of story. Like, I love Constantine and like the angel demon type of lore. So yeah, it's definitely dope. And the cutscenes are like A1. Like, man, I ain't gonna cap. I skipped some of them, but like I watched ones I felt like I had to watch. I fucking watched because they were really good.
well, I skipped a lot of the like the dialogue stuff. Like when once you get past like 5 to 10, you know what I'm saying, panels, I'm probably done. Like I got the gist of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on to the next part. It's okay.
Some cutscenes towards the end, you're gonna be like, oh shit.
No, cutscenes I never skip. Those the cinematic ones I usually stick around for those. Those have been pretty hot tier, at least from what I've seen. At least because I'm still only in Act 3. I think this will.
I have full health.
Oh, yeah, she hits that hard, bro. Like if you take a full run of an attack from her, it's legit a one shot. It's legit a one shot. I've actually been stuck fighting her since yesterday.
She
But
dies.
yesterday I was fighting her solo, and it was at the end of a long run to get to 50. So my brain was a little frazzled. Yeah, it was just.
You're doing good damage to her, man. It's just she hits.
And just her pattern gets just more extreme, like the higher up she gets to.
These motherfuckers just be getting mad, bro. That's what it is. They just get aggro. Like everything gets more sporadic. More enemies. Oof. Attacking in the wrong spot. It's just so painful dying with full potions and everything because you get one shot. Damn. So,
Shit.
oof.
That was very close, and I have no health, bro. None. Oh,
Half of my moves I can't use because there's no corpses. Some health is up if you can see it. No! Come on, fucking Lorath, do something. Get out of that. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Okay. This is great. They're really bogus for having her attacks blend in like that. Like, why can't her shit be green like yours?
Right.
She's staying vulnerable, like, at least.
You know, I mean, the damage is building up on her. It's just it's up to us to have to survive her onslaught.
Waiting for that phase where she drops potions.
It's when her health gets that next triangle.
Okay.
Yeah, every quarter of their health, that's when they drop potions again.
Turn around, Cora. Stay on the
Fuck, I'm down. I am down.
Okay. Bro, this is annoying me.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
how many times did I have to revive you?
No, we about to win this. I got all 7 of my potions again, so she dying.
I used all mine, but I'm about to get some more, so I'll be there. Yes. I'm trying to let me get my last potion. Yes.
If you ever see this dome up, feel free to get in it. As long as it's up, you're invulnerable.
That's
I can only use it every 90 seconds. But yeah, when you're in it, you're invulnerable.
might go down. Try to just make her vulnerable. I'm dead in the
Shit.
diagonal for me right now. Shit. Come on,
Shit.
Lorath. Try that aggro.
Draw aggro. You're funny.
He tried. He stood in front of it for a little bit. Got it. Let's go.
Oh, she's dead? Okay.
Yep.
I was, I was so paranoid. I was like, no, I'm not getting close enough for her to kill me. That shit was tough. And I also appreciate that. Like having tough bosses is preferred. I want that young sword I just get there. I would never use it. Well, not the passive ability on it, but the rest of it is pretty solid. It's actually perfect.
Okay.
But
Are there any tips that you could use in navigating through this game early on, though, brother?
Uh, you mean like am I needing help?
Yeah. Do you need help? Do you want to give help to the audience? 'Cause I got several things to give to the audience, but
I
I want to give
mean,
you space first.
you don't get your mount until Act 4. So if you grinding like crazy trying to get your mount, might as well do some side missions and stuff, man, because you ain't gonna get it to Act 4. So there's that. Um, what else? Have fun with your build. Don't be afraid to reset your skill points. And I bought inventory space on my gold early on to save like some of the rare shit that I wanted, but don't do that. Just transmog your shit, dismantle it with the whatchamacallit, and use it
Yeah, the
later on.
black. Yeah,
Yeah, with the blacksmith and
yeah.
shit. But
This
that's about it.
for anything that's non legendary, yeah, dismantle that shit immediately. Throw that shit away. Get that off of you. It's a waste of time. Don't do it to yourself. Um, Now, when for your legendary stuff, if you get something you like, make sure you go to the occultist so you can pull off your legendary perk. So you put that onto another piece of gear later on.
Oh,
That
so
makes a huge difference when you start getting to in game stuff and start building towards your build specifically. Once you get that, once you get to like 50 plus, and get starting to take longer to level up, you can start putting those abilities on to make sure you're building your character exactly how you want. Um, but I mean, of course, that's only for legendary pieces that have an ability that you want to keep long term. Other than that, don't do it just because it's really expensive to take those pieces off and put them onto other things. It costs a lot of gold, and of course, the higher level the piece of gear is, the more expensive it is to port the ability. So definitely keep that in mind. Um, Yeah, other than that, experiment, because you never know what piece of gear is gonna change your ability from being a dud to being goaded. I mean, legendary gear pieces literally change your entire combat. They can be more directly impactful than some of your active abilities with the passive that you can get from. Um,
shoot.
Let me think of what else. What's another tip for anyone trying to push to? Um, Go at your own pace. Like some people are gonna say, like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and power through the story," or other people will say, you know, level up first. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Because I mean, the later you get through the story, the harder it is to finish the story. Because I mean, you're gonna be fighting the stronger enemies. Yes, you'll get better drops from those enemies when you beat them, because they'll be scaled to your level 50 or 51 or wherever you are by the time you end the story. But it does make the game significantly harder when you finish it later as opposed to finishing it earlier, which is why I kind of opted to do it the way that I did. I like to make things difficult for myself in video games for some reason. I don't understand it fully. I just do it.
Yeah, I definitely was like, I want the mount. Then I was like, I need XP. So I was like, the story missions definitely give you a lot of XP. That's for sure. But really, I just want World Tour 3. I think that's ultimately what just had me go the route I took. It's just like World Tour 3. That's what I want. Because I too want the challenge plus the reward.
So, for World War 3, the requirements are they just to finish the story and get through that
Dungeon.
dungeon?
Yeah.
What is it called? There's a specific name for it, and I can't remember what it's called right now. I'll remember it better when those things are shooting at us.
My necro is much better against when there's ads. So I can use all my abilities fully.
Yeah. I mean, and when I first built my ability, it was definitely more sort of geared towards ads, but now I've kind of tweaked it up so I just if there's something in front of me, it's just gonna take damage. Like whether it's in a group, whether it's by itself, I've got so many different ways to put on significant damage to people. You just gotta hope he kill me first. I'm for sure a glass cannon.
We both are out here for real. That is truth.
You know, there's really only two tank builds early on right now in Diablo, and I don't necessarily know if I love that or not. I
I
mean,
definitely
it forces you to either play have one player as a druid or a barbarian, which I mean I'm not the angriest in the world about, but you know what I'm saying. I like variety.
yeah, I can't wait to play my barbarian build, but it would be cool to see updates in this where they drop new classes.
Oh, that is coming. Every couple, like you know, they do like Destiny. Every couple of months, they drop a new big expansion that adds like new world tiers, new post in-game content, possibly new areas, and new
Just,
classes too.
just
So
like I probably won't buy no other game like this, bro. Like unless they added a shooter version of this, like exactly like this, but I had guns. Like I like not like Destiny, like exactly like this with guns. Probably,
Outriders.
yeah, but I do like Outriders still. Honestly, I do. I just haven't played with nobody. My build on Outriders still nasty. Ice build for days. But like
Yes,
I don't know if that's still viable.
that DLC that I bought. I did buy that DLC
Yes,
and
yes. So we said a couple times we were gonna play.
when we officially get the Army of Two stream going, that's when you know. I guess that's an announcement here. You heard it here first. You know, me and my brother Staniel over here, we're gonna start the Army of Two stream and just 2 minute do whatever we feel like 2 minute do at the time.
Exactly. Exactly.
And this is probably one that's gonna get added to that rotation. At least for me. I don't know
Oh,
how much
facts
my
for sure. I
brothers
told
and
you, like, it's probably because I really want a crazy strong necro build. Like, I love necromancers. Like, in Magic, that's always been like my ability in my mind. It's like the shadow magic, something like that. So this is fun. And honestly, like, because of this, I'm probably not gonna play Harry Potter no more. like, this game has all the fixings that I would want.
yeah, your sorcerer in this is could probably be like a lot doper than your one in there. I mean, but that is adding some bias. I do have a strong bias towards Diablo. I also think that Harry Potter doesn't do magic right. That's neither here nor
I think it's a very practical magic, I guess maybe they try to be.
there. Yeah, they make it very limited and linear, and I don't necessarily love that. I feel like magic should be, I don't know, expansive and individual.
Agree. Still my favorite kind of magic is like my favorite magic. I guess anime you can say it's always been manga just because of they really
Yeah,
go
like
stupid.
that magic is crazy, bro. It's
They
like
go stupid.
absurd.
Yeah.
Like, had you gotten a chance to delve into that manga for that yet?
Nah, I picked it up and reading it, but I don't know where the anime leaves off. So I keep like being too far ahead. Like I saw Sinbad go crazy.
Honestly, if you haven't seen the anime in a while, it's not bad to go ahead and just restart it from the beginning
Just
because
restart
there
it.
are
Yeah.
there are some changes that they did to the anime. Like they took certain like small details out and added stuff in. So seeing the adjusted version, you may like it or dislike it, but it is a little bit of a difference.
Definitely would be good because just been reading about like the Magi and things like that lately, just in my own studying. So I'm like, yeah, this makes me want to rewatch Magi. Like, 'cause that shit was fire. They really were going stupid, trying to tell a bunch of different stories while still being their own individual story at the same time. So yeah, it's been nothing like it ever since. I'm excited for Mushoku Tensei. What's it called?
Job's reincarnation. Yeah.
What's that? Mushoku Tensei?
Yeah.
I feel like,
Tensei.
because I'd be like, yo, am I saying that or am I saying the name for Pain's fucking attack?
Oh yeah.
Like,
What
yeah,
is
they kinda say this
something
or something.
Tensei? It is not Ito Tensei. What is it?
I think it's Shibaku.
Chibaku Tensei. Yep.
Yeah.
That. Yep.
I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's one of them. But yeah, gee. Because it got good towards the end. So I'm like, okay, is this going to get kind of dark, man? Because hey.
Magi, it gets a little darker. That's going on a tangent. That wasn't what you were talking about. I'm sorry.
No, I mean Mushoku Tensei was, but Mushoku Tensei, that guy towards the end, you saw the ending of that last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
bro,
so, yeah.
do you understand the heat that we're about to like imbue upon ourselves going into July, bro? Do you understand what's going to be out at the same time?
No, you already know you got something.
All right, so not only are we about to have Jobless Reincarnation come back, you knew that, you know what I'm saying? Or did you? I don't know if you did know that.
I did know that.
Then we got, young Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Like that's also coming back for season 2, right? Then we got Bleach.
Yeah, that's gonna be fire.
All running at the same time.
That's gonna be fire. That's a fire enough lineup to get you through a week at Amazon.
Yeah. And this con man is in the wrong StreamYard. It's good, brother. Yeah, bro, like that's gonna go so hard, bro. Like, and those are just the headliners. There's some new titles coming in the summer that look really good. A couple other things, and then at the end of that, you get not necessarily at the end of that season, but basically when you get to October, that's when you get the final part of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. So I'm like, y'all really trying to talk to this man?
They just milk that shit, bro. Like when I tell you, like they've had like one issue to cover for like 4 years. It feels like that fucking like that last arc that they're in. Like it is a good arc, but it's not that long. The way that they stretched it out from 2019 to 2023 is absurd to me.
Genius. They're gonna make their money, man. They like, look, we gotta stay relevant, bro. We like, yeah, One Piece is doing their thing, all of that, but look, Attack on Titan's still here, man. Like,
I mean, but Demon Slayer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then, like, that's what I'm saying. Hunter x Hunter need to, go ahead, keep on pacing yourself, but you better come back every 3 years or something. Like shit, do something.
I mean, it is still relevant because the fan base is still very strong for Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they haven't finished in manga like the next real arc. That actually, I fucking lied. There is one piece of manga that everybody and their mama is waiting for from Hunter x Hunter, and that is done. And that's that's
so Crollo.
Yeah, bruh. So
yeah,
go ahead and animate that. You don't even have to just get that to me in a moment.
Right. Just do that right real quick. And because when the Black Clover movie dropping?
That is August, I want to say, and that'll be on Netflix. Yeah, so but my like so the way my hunter is built is so nasty, Stan. So the way my attacks work, do you see those little three little shield things on the side of my ability bars?
Oh, I gotta look at your shit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so for every one of those that is lit up, that's a multiplier to my next uh powered attack
Mm-hmm.
to make it do more damage. So
Nice.
if I get that to full three, like pretty much anything other than a boss or an elite is getting melted by that next shot.
Wow. So yeah, if I'm just spamming vulnerables, and then my abilities do more damage if they're vulnerable. So
Yep,
yeah,
same.
it's just
My basic abilities both make people vulnerable as well. So,
same.
uh,
So there's no chance. If it's not a boss, there's no chance. And if it makes corpses, it's no chance. Like it's pretty much anything, yeah, that dies in front of me makes a corpse. It's just the bosses don't make corpses. So but if I'm playing with somebody that is another necro that's playing with minions, I can use their corpses.
so yeah, what is your workaround for when you're gonna have to be fighting those like higher tier bosses that don't make
Still figuring out that probably one, my attack will be higher because I'll actually start putting shit into my gear. And really, it's just using the crits. I'm gonna have to be patient. Wait till my buffs stack up and then attack and
do
take
you
less
know
damage.
which that increases your damage as a necro? Because I actually am not fully sure there.
I am not sure either.
You know, we can check before the stream is out if you want. We can. I'll show you exactly where you go to see what does it. Yeah, that's one thing. It's like navigating through all like the menus and sub menus isn't the smoothest, at least early on. But the more I get used to it, the quicker that process starting to get.
Mm-hmm.
And all the different vendors as well. There's a bunch of different of those that are all super important in different ways, but you gotta talk to them to really understand.
Mm-hmm. It's just this place is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sanctuary is a wild ass place.
I mean, this is a wild world. Like this ain't like a happy place.
Not at all. It's like it's like the waiting room to hell. That's exactly what it is.
It's hell. Like
Nah, I mean, but like in the story, you go to hell.
yeah.
So it's like I thought this was hell, but they keep saying no, Lilith. I mean, I guess if hell is the United States, this is Texas. like damn, like you're in Florida or something. Shit.
Man, I wanna I did want to get into some non spoiler Spider Verse talk, but I know you still haven't seen it. I can't wait for you to see it, bro. I know you'll enjoy it. I know you specifically will find some things that you enjoy because I got a lot of things that I enjoyed about that one.
Yeah, I just heard it's just like the ultimate, bro. Like, if you're a fan of Spider-Man movies, you're gonna love that movie. So I'm just alright. Need to see it. Need to fucking see it. Do not kill me. Kill me if you tried.
Wow,
That mechanic at the end starts to piss me off, bro.
I didn't know that was going to happen right there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They definitely started. That's not the first time, or that's not the last time that shit gonna happen.
Duly noted. I will make sure I kill everything from a distance. all of them gathered in one place, and melting time. Now you get in there. One thing I have noticed about this compared to Diablo 3, at least early on in Diablo 3, like the AoE abilities like really hurting this game. Like bad. Like if you get caught in it, you are taking some massive damage. Don't do that to yourself.
But I like how like if you dodge an attack, or if your gear is high enough, like you can automatically dodge attacks. That shit fire. Definitely came in handy in the final boss fight.
Now, of course, that's even higher on the roll.
You sounded kind of far for that last fight, bro.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things to make sure that your dodge is constantly getting increased as you level up as a rogue.
Got to get all those Lilith statues too.
Oh yeah. And the thing about those Lilith statues, like they spread across your entire account. So even when you make your other players, you still have those boosts.
Another reason why I beat that story, because I want to make my barbarian.
Yeah, I'm also going to make a barbarian. Because you got to have at least one tank around for raid shit, bro. Like
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's not even like a it's a necessity. It's a complete necessity. And right now, out of everybody in the clan, I think that Darnell has the only barbarian build. Well, I'm sorry, tank build with his druid. He's a druid. He's not a barbarian.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming through like Ivar the Boneless type of deal.
But I don't know, man. Like when I start on my barbarian, he not gonna be like your regular barbarian. He gonna have to be like a little bit more mobile than barbarians are used to doing. Like he gonna be a rogue in the barbarian.
Mm-hmm. I'm a different kind of Viking, bro. Different kind of Viking.
Yeah, I gotta have me some speed. So, I gotta be able to move around. I gotta be able to kill people efficiently, even if I am primarily tanking. Like I still gotta like the ads. I gotta be able to control ads to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, I know the barbarians gotta move. Where you can like kick bosses into walls. That's fine. Just run up to a boss and kick his ass. Yeah.
No, that could if you got some area control abilities, and you can kick them into it like that, like kick a boss into the area control. That's tough.
So circles are real fucking mean. So the barbarians are real mean.
No, but I have been like thoroughly enjoying this young rogue though. Rogue is it's such a neat class.
Yo,
Like, it's good, Charlie.
what's up, nigeritos? How y'all doing?
Not too bad. Pushing through this young story.
I was about to say you were pushing P for a second. Oh,
No.
Okay, Diablo, got you. Dungeon. Hey, buddy. Dungeon crawler shit. Malordo, how you doing, buddy? Fresh braid stand.
They're two-strand twist, actually.
2 strands. Okay.
Well, mini boss. He's not a full boss. He on time.
You just have a mini boss, bro? I'm not a full boss.
Yeah, it's a mini boss. Like literally.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was a mini boss. I'm like, damn, bro.
Oh no.
Oh, that's fucked up. Goddamn.
No, like literally attacking us currently is a mini boss, not a full boss.
Okay.
Dude, I got
Yo, this lore I think is starting to piss me off.
Bro,
Like, I'm intentionally pushing people into my traps, and he's pushing them out of the traps. Like, why are you doing this?
He's like, fuck your traps, yoga.
Got it.
I just got out of seeing a decent horror movie.
Bro, look at that dude walking down there in a circle.
Is there such thing anymore?
Yeah, for those that don't hate, yes, it's Mr. Stank Meter. There are.
You said you saw a semi-decent what?
Horror movie when I watched The Boogeyman. From the title, you would think it'd be ass, but it was somewhat decent.
I'm waiting for the blackening.
By the
Even
time
though that's
think,
more of a comedy.
yeah, that's a scary movie. That's the Wayans Brothers sequel.
It's not Wayne's Brothers though.
It's I mean it's pretty much the Wayans Brothers stuff. I mean it's gonna be like updated for modern stuff, but I mean I can't say shit about it until I see it. But I'm guessing it's gonna be something of a similar vein, like them making fun of horror tropes and whatnot. But it'd be funny. I like the scary movie. I like the Wayans Brothers movies as well, so I'm not gonna say too much shit about it. But yes, the film was pretty decent. I think I may cook up a little something in the dojo for it, possibly.
Hold on, so I'm watching this cutscene and it's just going stupid fighting. Over here watching the cutscene. That's awesome.
Getting ate up by Roly Polioli.
Ate up.
Awful, bro.
But he's eating all that shit.
No sweat. Like
these are bosses, bro. Like they take a lot of damage to take down, especially when you get to level 50.
If we got this game on here, why can't they just port over Star Wars Old Republic? Because it's the same shit.
Yeah.
This is full action RPG though. Like it's not like
It's the same
like
shit.
Old Republic is an action RPG. It's full
Yeah, it is.
level.
I mean, if it's not, I don't see how not, because it's literally the same gameplay.
No, you have the cooldown bars that have to build up slowly, but like you're not. It's not full on mobile like this is.
I mean, are you doing like combos with your one melee bar or something different, or are you just using them when they cooldown?
You just you have more control over the movement, and it matters like a lot. Like placement of where you are physically. That's everything in this game.
Mm-hmm. Fucking on attack backwards.
I don't see too. Maybe again, I haven't played the other 3 games, but I don't see too much of a difference. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying it's like
it's a dramatic difference.
It's like the same shit.
Star Wars. It's a little bit closer to like Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, same shit. Look, I'll play all these games. They're not bad. I love those games. Like these are some of my favorite games, but it's all the same shit. That's why I'm like,
I wouldn't compare Marvel Ultimate Alliance to like I feel like that's an RPG to an ARPG. Like so, there's a lot of similarities to them, but like fundamentally, it's different.
In what aspects? Like what fundamentals is different?
It's an action RPG versus actual RPG. Like this is everything is real time versus you're waiting for abilities to activate in the RPG.
Yeah. So you're saying like you press a button and your character goes and does it, and then you come back to doing a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this, everything is happening as you're playing.
Right.
There's no delay of a cinematic cut or whatever. You're actually doing it. You're dodging. You're running.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
I can see it. As far as like the movement aspect, of having to move as you're fighting.
Because honestly, that always takes me out of those type of games.
Yeah, same.
On the computer and shit, or on the phone. I'm just like
I could play one on the phone, but or mobile games, but like playing those type of games on console, it doesn't really translate well for me.
I can't play on the phone. I
can only play Mobile Legends. That's the only type of game I can play like that because I can actually move my player. Like I control all of that. I control the abilities that you use.
Mm-hmm. That seems like the only for me. It seems like the only differentiation is just the fact that you have to like move, or you have the ability to move more fluidly. which isn't a bad thing. I'm pretty sure it takes a lot more effort to do so, but that's kind of wild to me. Like the fluidity of movement is the only thing that differentiates an entire subgenre.
Yeah, it's an action RPG from a regular RPG.
And that's why you say subgenre, because it's not like a whole new genre. It's a
subgenre
within.
Because what the genre is like a dungeon crawler, I guess is what I call the genre, I guess.
No, the genre is RPG or action RPG.
A dungeon crawler is like a characteristic of the game.
Yeah, that is more so of a subgenre than saying because action RPG is a genre. Like RPG is a different genre.
So how does a MMORPG differ from an action RPG?
So an MMORPG is still an RPG unless it's an MMOARPG, right?
But it's the MMORPG is played online. It's a massive multiplayer online game. Yeah. A regular RPG is just a role playing game. You just play by yourself. You don't get your friends and all of that crap.
So what would you consider Mass Effect then?
Mass Effect is an AR. This is a shooter RPG.
A shooter RPG.
Yeah.
Just and that's a whole new genre in itself, right? Or do you consider that a subgenre?
Because like Destiny falls under that genre, Outriders is in that genre, Anthem's in that genre. All of those are shooter RPGs.
So why would they not be considered action RPGs?
I'm dead.
Because it's a shooter.
So Lily's shooting is the only thing, because for a game like that compared to this, there's a lot of other different things you could point to make it different than.
Let me ask you this, Dev.
The shooting is the only aspect that makes it different.
Let me ask you this, Dev. You're playing 2K, you're playing Madden, and you're playing Fight Night. All of them are sports games, but they're a different kind of sports game.
Right.
You're playing 2K and you're playing NCAA. Both of them are basketball games, just different kind of basketball games.
I mean, yeah, they are, but I wouldn't consider it an entirely new genre, though. I just call it that game because that game does things differently.
But would you say NCAA? So you're saying, so you would say NCAA isn't a subgenre of a basketball game; it's just a basketball game.
Yeah, it's just a sports game. Yeah,
right.
That's my thing. I'm trying to it seems like these minute, minuscule things are creating
semantics, but that's like if it's.
When
that's you have so much of something. Why am I getting one shot?
Gaming is essentially like a singular type of thing anyway. So like a slight change in a game is what changes the genre, right? So like a shooter, like a action game and a shooter can be very close, but the fact that you are shooting in it makes it a shooter now.
But then I consider that like a subgenre, though. I wouldn't consider like an entirely new genre. If that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
shooting game is the genre. Like, it's not like shooting games is a genre. RPGs is a genre. Simulation games is a genre. Racing games is a genre.
Yeah, but those things are like a simulation game versus like Farm Simulator versus like Forza are drastically two different things at a fundamental and a integral level. So my problem comes when you take like an action game action is a very broad like range of things. So I should be able to throw like Call of Duty and fucking like Devil May Cry under that same umbrella because they're both action. The only difference
Call of Duty is a shooter. Devil May Cry is an action game. It's an action RPG.
But that's you know what I mean. You see how weird that. I mean, I understand you've been in there for a lot longer, but like
I can clearly separate COD and Devil May Cry.
Like, yeah, you can clearly separate them, but they fall under that same umbrella for me. Like, at least in my opinion.
But like Devil May Cry and God of War, that's like the same genre.
Or Assassin's Creed, maybe.
Or Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Any just where I'm using swords, knives. I'm punching you too. Like COD, you're not playing that.
COD's a shooter.
Like better example would be like Army of Two, right? Where it's the same third person thing, but you're using guns, and I'm like, all right, cool.
I would prefer guns to compare it to Devil May Cry to Army of Two than COD, because don't nobody ever consider COD as any. Devil May Cry some story. Like, I mean, I guess people play COD for the story in Modern Warfare 2, and
Right.
and that was it. So I mean,
but that's why like they're so similar because like with let's like Devil May Cry versus like Army of Two, right? Is there story driven single player or co-op? Well, Army of Two is a co-op game, but you can play
But one's a
single player
shooter and the
mostly.
other one's action.
And one is more based around gun mechanics, and the other one is based around guns and swords. But they're both
and on top
action.
of that, it's an army game. Army games, I feel like, have a whole nother niche in the shooter market,
and it's a subgenre. Yeah, I consider that a subgenre. I wouldn't consider that an entirely different genre.
First-person shooter. Like that's the only difference between like the Army of Two and a Call of Duty.
Yeah, again, that to me that's a subgenre. Like I wouldn't consider
that
it's not so much
subgenre. Like,
but see, that's what's crazy to me. Like we talked about the differences between an RPG and an action RPG, and the difference was like fluidity of movement versus what a third-person shooter and a first-person shooter. The literal only difference is the camera perspective. Mm-hmm. But that's an entirely new genre. But this isn't.
No, those are subgenres.
This isn't though.
Action RPG is an RPG, so I mean the overall genre is RPG game.
Right.
So
that's
I mean,
why I would consider it a subgenre.
Yeah, that would be more to the subgenre. But I mean, that's one that's very distinct though. Like it's a huge difference between a RPG and an ARPG. Like there are the only similarities is the UI and the interface in general, like how you react with the world.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, like there's so many differences between the RPG and the ARPG because of like the principles and how you play them.
But I can argue that for any subgenre though. Like for going back to the first person versus third person shooter, you're playing those completely different because one, you have a 360 view of the entire. Like I can see a nigga around a corner in a third person versus a first person. I have to like see from my perspective where he is. I don't know exactly where he is. Like to me, again, that's like to be a subgenre. Yeah, you're playing them fundamentally different, but not so much so that I would consider it an entirely different genre.
There's not a whole lot of difference between how you play a first person or a third person though. Like that, like yes, like you have a bigger field of motion, but the gameplay doesn't change with that slight tweak, right? Like with the RPG, like you're talking about a turn-based game where you can like inactively still play versus an action game where like you are directly in control of what's happening, and if you're not active, you're dying. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so then SWTOR or Star Wars: Old Republic wouldn't be considered an RPG, an action RPG then, because you have to move in that game. That's so okay. So we're not okay. So we're talking for RPG. We're talking like Midnight Suns, those type of games.
No,
that are like RPG.
That's
like keep reviving.
That's RPG. Yeah, those are RPGs, right?
No. Like Old Republic is still a regular RPG. Like they're like yes, you control your character and move around, but like
Hold on, let's clarify. Are you talking about Knights of the Old Republic, or are you talking about Star Wars: The Old Republic?
The online MMO game.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, MMO RPG. Yes.
Right.
That is it has action RPG things to it in the way that you can move, but fundamentally that's an RPG because of how you attack things, right? Like you don't like there in the Old Republic, right? There's no like one button that like, okay, this is how you shoot or this is how you jump, right? Like you set your abilities into certain places, and
I mean they have that too.
Yeah, once you have that ability, like
that would maybe more confusing things. I think that's like a hybrid because it has those elements. Like you have a hit button, you have a jump button, a run button, but you do have like those inserted abilities that I can reconfigure my thing to have my hit button and my lightning button in the same thing or switch them around if I want to. But there is still like a run button. There's still a dodge. I think there's a dodge button. There's like a dodge configuration in there if I remember right. So maybe that's not the best example. That's more of a hybrid. I feel like possibly, but so for RPG. So what's the difference? What would your example of an RPG be then? 'Cause that's probably a bad
Pokemon, Persona.
Let me get my Golem out.
Okay, yeah. So those that makes sense because those are like games where you're not statically moving and whatnot. And it's like you said, it's turn based. That makes more sense.
But even still, like the cooldown based like MMO style RPGs are still RPGs. It's not an ARPG.
Repeat that question one more time, or not question. Repeat that statement one more time.
Like so in games like World of Warcraft, games like Star Wars: The Old Republic, like your special abilities are based off of a cooldown, right? Like like when you do the ability, like there's like a certain amount of time that you have to use, and then so much time you can wait before you can use it again or use another ability.
Right.
Like that is what makes it an RPG and not an action RPG. Like with this game right here, like literally everything is happening completely in real time. Like if I was to stop, like there's no like single button I can press to make my guy like just randomly auto attack or anything like that, right?
So,
Like everything is
the cooldown is the difference.
Not necessarily just the cool, like it's
because I'm looking at the cooldowns right now, and in Star Wars: Old Republic, there are some attacks that are instant cooldowns because they're like regular slashes, and some are longer cooldowns, like I'm seeing right now. So I'm trying to see what the difference is
in the game while those cooldowns are happening. We're not looking at our characters doing animation. Like if we were to stop moving while those cooldowns happen, we would die.
Yeah, same thing in Star Wars: Old Republic. Because you're not attacking, you're just sitting there like soaking up damage.
So you can move your character or not?
Yeah, you can move him around. Like at least for me, I was fighting shit that was higher than me, so I would like hit him run all the time. I like run in a circle and smack a nigga from a distance, or like I run in, smack him, and then jump back out.
No, dude. I'm just trying to see.
The Old Republic is like in the same vein as like Final Fantasy 14 in the way that, like, yeah, you said like you have like certain things that you can do immediately and repeatedly just to make your other abilities work, but like still, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of like the minute things to because like this is just like you would be playing like God of War, right? Like how God of War and the Old Republic obviously don't play the same. Like you know those, like this is just like that, but just from an angle like of the Old Republic, right? Like every movement, everything is happening completely in real time. There's no pre-programmed things for you. You just have to know which abilities to use when to make sure that your things are flowing. I guess this is a horrible explanation.
Because like I'm listening to the explanation, and it sounds like you're just explaining the same thing to me. For like you have the attack that's preset, and you're using them at different times. Like you said, you're using them at different times. Except like again, it's like for my like the way you're explaining it. At least maybe I'm weird for my interpretation, but I'm interpreting that it sounds like the same shit to me. Which is not, again, I'm not saying any of this is bad or like the quality is different, but what I'm saying is like that small minute detail to me doesn't seem drastic enough to put it in an entirely different genre, if that makes any sense. Subgenre, yes, because it's like a minute thing that's like it's a niche thing, but I don't know enough to give it an entirely different genre.
It's a MMORPG versus this is just a standard action RPG looter.
So what does the MMO stand for? Is it mobile?
Massive multiplayer online.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. I don't know. That's an interesting thing I noticed about gaming is like there obviously the niche markets, and there's some things that are drastically different in like the play style fundamentally, but then there are also like a minute difference that, at least from my perspective, doesn't feel like it changes the game so much so to qualify it for its own genre. It seems like fans of that genre want to feel more special about that genre, so they give it a new name, so they feel like they're different.
It's more like it's just that games have now blurred the lines between genres so much that it's hard to differentiate exactly where one part ends and the other one starts. Like before, action games had no RPG elements in them whatsoever, right? Like there was no like leveling or ability placement or upgrades and things like that. When action games first came out, they were solely that, and RPGs were solely those things.
Mm-hmm.
As the lines between RPGs and action games have blurred, it's harder to say like, okay, this is definitively where this line draws versus this one,
So
because
this is just positionless basketball, then, what you're telling me?
basically.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Because I know some things are easier to classify than others, obviously, but that's very interesting to see how that
But again,
qualifies.
it's just you haven't been on the game like on games long enough to see like how that line deterred. Because like I guess like PS2 PS2 Xbox GameCube, like that's around the area where games really started to like kind of combine genres.
I
And you
played
start
PS1 slightly for like 3 games.
Yeah, like PS1 things were still relatively a little bit more simple.
Mm.
Games like Spiral, Crash Bandicoot, where like there were slight upgrade abilities you got, but that's just from collecting things around the map to strengthen small things that you could do. Like
Mm.
the full RPG elements didn't really start coming into place until you got games like God of War or Devil May Cry, where he's like, oh, there's this whole menu that you have now that you can change abilities around, change the way that you play the game, because before it was so linear in how you had to play. Like every button did one specific thing and there was no augmenting that, right? Like, if you're playing Mario, you got your button that throws fireballs, you got your button that jumps, and you can
Right.
pick up power ups, but there's no like
Bigger fireballs or like blue fireballs. Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
but as games are starting to evolve more, like now they take elements from everything. Like you'll see shooter elements in an RPG game now.
Mm.
You'll see, and the vice versa. You'll see games like Destiny and Outriders, which believe it or not fall on opposite lines of the same spectrum. Like
Mm-hmm.
Destiny is a shooter RPG, but Outriders is an RPG shooter, which is so stupid.
I get it. I understand the explanation now from that perspective. I think what fucks me up is like I played these things, and at least at the time playing them, I kind of did it on my own because no father's child and mother was not a nerd and whatsoever. So I kind of was like, oh, action game, RPG, RPG. I see those elements, I just throw them in the same fucking thing because they just seem like the same to me. I don't my at least my viewpoint on them was very rudimentary when it comes to that
Let's try this again.
for ease of understanding, I guess. Because I was like the oldest gamer in my household the whole time. Like my stepdad played games, but it was one of those like hood things where the nigga just he played them in his free time. He didn't really like game like that for real.
My dad was an avid gamer at one point. He gamed out, but like he he had certain games that he would mess with, but like he wasn't like an all around gamer. I was the one that kind of deviated. Like my to this day, my dad will never touch an RPG ever.
That's
Like
sad.
never. Like he would never play a Mass Effect game.
That's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
my dad plays Destiny, but like he's tired of it now. Man, they're not. It's just the same stuff. And he plays Destiny. Like he's a leader of a clan. He raids, Grandmaster Nightfalls.
That's
And
fire.
he's just like, yeah, man. It's like, son, man.
Why don't we ever run with your dad then on Destiny? What the fuck?
He got his
Yeah.
whole clan. Like I said, the
My
Midwest
nigga,
connection.
what is your
Man.
problem, sir?
How's we going down? If you need me to carry you through that nightfall, son, just let me know. I'm like,
What you barking for?
I actually play Destiny.
Hush.
Like I've been trying to get my dad to play Destiny because he would be really good at it. Because he's really good at first person shooters and third person. He's good at shooters in general. But because of the RPG elements, he's so slow to try to even try it. Like when he sees me playing, it's like he says he enjoys. He thinks it looks dope. But like he won't take it upon himself to like follow through and like try to play it on his own. It's like, I mean, I can't fault you too much for that, but like,
Act so attention to pride. Come on. When you start barking, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to, little nigga. I don't know when we start doing that shit. This nigga does not bark at all. This thing want to bark at me like I'm a bitch.
Why did I just stand in front of that? Because I was looking at my attack, wondering why I wasn't doing what I thought it was supposed to do.
There's got to be something that lets you revive faster eventually.
But no, the movie was solid though. I'm starting to like my goal is to infinitely watch a lot more movies this year, so I kind of see all the different tropes and things and see all the things I want to steal for my stories and whatnot. And even when I'm like reviewing now, I've kind of not that I've seen it all, but I can watch them from a different lens, if that makes any sense.
You're starting to see patterns between different series to see how things correlate and how to dissect moves at a deeper level. I get it.
Pretty much, yeah. So I this movie was solid. They really played on the whole natural human aspect of like fear of the darkness, and they used it in an interesting way. None of the scares felt really cheap to me, and they introduced some really interesting concepts. It's like a monster flick / infestation film. So for people that don't know what an infestation is and how that differs from like a possession, infestations are when spirits or ghosts they possess a home or infect a home versus an individual. So it's like the monster.
That's my usual preference there on those.
You said what?
So that's usually my preference between those.
Yeah, I it depends. I enjoy both of those. Like films like The Exorcist that do it well. I enjoy those possession films or things of that nature, but I think I do agree with you. I think infestation films are a little bit better because they have more room to do more things.
And just bottom line, I've seen more good infestation films than I've seen exorcism films. Like honestly, like The Exorcist is the only one I would like really call like my tier. Personally,
have y'all seen? Was it the Rite or Priest?
Yes, I've seen Priest.
That's one of my favorite.
I've seen parts of the Rite
movies like that.
I think one of my favorite ones was I think it's called The Autopsy of Something Gray, maybe. Like the whole film takes place with this father and son who are doing an autopsy on this body that's possessed, and they go through that whole scenario. They're good. I think the difficult thing.
Wait, was the dad like a morticianer?
Yeah, the dad and the son were both morticians, and they were like working together on this one body that was possessed by a ghost or a demon or something. And it was done really well.
They had some crazy shots in that movie.
Yeah, the difficulty comes to me in lieu of you have like all the threat is within this singular being, so you're not necessarily as fearful as something of like an infestation where every part of this house can be used as a weapon or it can kill you. So you're more weary of every step versus like you're just listening for a killer around the corner. But I think what this does differently and that's interesting is that because they utilize like the fear of darkness and they made most of the scenes dark, you literally have to be wary of every corner because you don't know where it is. And it does a good job. They also introduce like a concept of it where sound and like the monster can almost echo people's voices and like copy their voice to lure things into a trap or fuck with you more. So again, you have to be even more wary because you can't trust what you see or what you hear. And it's done well. And then they don't show like the full monster in its full glory into the end, so you have that like the
Thank
anticipation
God,
also.
bro. Like the exhaust. Well, no, I guess the exhaust might not be the best. The fatigue that some movies like let you build for their villains is crazy. Like
Hmm.
I wish less things would do that.
They desensitize you to the one thing that's supposed to be scaring you. The whole
Exactly. And you have a general outline of what it will look like, but you don't see the full design till the end. And the design of it is really fucking gnarly because it's like this Schmeagle looking quadricep thing on all fours, and it has teeth, but like the like thing there's like hands, like a picture of me fucking doing this to my fucking mouth, and I have like hands covering it, and it's like hands hanging out like teeth. And the design of it is it's really fucking dope. Um, some of the lore shit about it is kind of weird because they don't really explain it at all. Which I mean, granted, I don't think they need to. I think that also adds to some of the fear of it because you don't really know what it is. Um, which is also again some Stephen King shit. But it is it was dope. It was a solid like 7.5 to an 8 for me on the first watch. I thought the acting was really done well as well. Like the characters, I cared about the characters.
Anybody have
Um,
note on it?
the girl looked familiar. She kind of looked like old girl that played Magic in the Mutants. I'm trying to maybe make sure it's her. Let me make sure it's her and not somebody. I'm not just tripping and being racist. And I'm assuming all white women look alike.
I mean, if you're talking, I mean, she has a very distinct look. So getting her confused with somebody else, that's a difficult thing to do.
I mean,
At
they
least
give
I
her like
feel.
a basic like brunette haircut. Like everything about her aesthetic in the film is pretty basic and like run of the mill. Nothing special in her design. Um, the Boogeyman cast.
That's exactly what I was saving these corpses for.
Came Sophie Thatcher. She was in the Book of Boba Fett, The Man of Tomorrow, Other Tomorrow Man, Prospect, Yellow Jackets.
Don't die. Come on, what the fuck?
So she has been in a lot of films. She's only been in 3, 6, 9, 15 things. A couple of those being shows. So
I
apparently
mean,
she's
I
in the
would
Book of
call
Boba
that
Fett.
well, not even a veteran, but a journeyman. 15 projects.
Mhm.
That's not a rookie.
She played Drash in Boba Fett, in the Book of Boba Fett.
No,
I don't remember what character that was at all.
nor do I.
Oh
Damn.
wait. That may be one of the street punks from the Book of Boba Fett.
Damn.
I think that's what she was.
Oh, come on.
Let me double check.
So I didn't get that revive. Are you
Bro, we were
fucking kidding?
doing so well, man.
Yeah, she was like the main like punk gang member, like the woman in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I don't remember much about that. I try to block it from memory, actually.
Yeah, but that was her. She did a pretty good job. The little girl, she had like a little sister as a child actor. She did really well too. For me in the film, that I think the dad was like the weaker part, which I guess makes sense because the focus wasn't on him as much. But I think they could have done more with him. Spit it out. Come here. Hey, little nigga, come here. Yeah, give it to me. Stop chewing on shit. That's not your toy. You know this. You realize you're so damn attention deprived. Like you don't sit here with me all the fucking time. But yeah, it was solid. I'm trying to get a better formula on how I can cut like video reviews or movie or show reviews in the dojo without having to write an entire script. So I'm gonna kind of like do a hybrid of off the cuff and writing it and kind of just edit it from there. That way I can do more of them and kind of hone my skills as an editor and as a content creator.
Anything to improve the craft, I respect.
Yeah. Plus, I'm gonna be bored this weekend. I need the fucking break because this conference I just came back from was was rejuvenating yet exhausting as fuck.
I mean, this isn't a bad way to spend some time either. This game is rather extensive. This is not a small, short, any type of like quick getaway game. This is a long one.
I know that's what's been keeping me from like starting it because I was grinding on Destiny hella hard, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta put hella time into this shit." So I
It's
realized I got
more
to the
fun
point.
than Destiny to me, man. Maybe because I did that shit already, bro. Like, I have no desire to get to the max light. I just want to play Crucible.
I'm just now getting all my fucking like all my classes maxed out now. And getting builds set for each of them in 3 sets. I almost finished maxing. The thing that's pissing me off now is that I'm not getting the exotics that I want to drop. Like literally, I've been going through like the weekly exotics that drop, and I literally have every single one of those on that and the fucking thing. So all I'm getting is repeats now. So I'm not getting any of the other exotics that I don't have that I need for some build that I want to do. So I'm fucking annoyed by it.
Welcome to Destiny. Your life is ruled by RNGs in that game.
I'm like, nigga, I've already traumatized myself doing this shit with Warframe for like fucking 8 years. I don't know if I want to go through that shit again. It's just fucking
The
irritating.
Crucible is just so fun when you got a squad. That's what brings me back to that game. I really like Crucible.
Because I've been running it solo just because I had to for the exotics, and it's been pretty solid. Now that I have like a decent build and I know what kind of weapons to look for, it's good. It's just the like you said, the team aspect that's lacking in it.
I
mean, we got numbers. If you just trying to
niggas don't be on. This is the third time I've been grinding that game hard.
Say, hey, let's get on Destiny. Besides, when a nigga's at work,
multiple times in that chat. I've ran that shit with Tink and Cardi more with y'all.
Work. And niggas is at work.
Like the time you're saying multiple times, like you literally it's just a couple times, and like niggas just wasn't on the game during them times. But like if you ever want to go grind,
like typically you say that on the weekends, and I work every single weekend now. Like my off days are Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and when I say like, hey, anybody online, it's like, oh, I'll get on later. Nobody gets the fuck on.
I'll be on that though. I'll be on after work 9 times out of 10.
Then when is the hey? Anybody want to hop on with me? I'm on. I'm running. Where is that?
I just send out party invites and niggas don't join.
I can show you my notifications list and show you that I've gotten a party invite that I haven't joined in months.
Okay, I'll take your word for
it. Yeah, bottom line though, you want to get increased, bro. Yeah, just like that.
So I'm waiting on that next multiplayer game to hit. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, but like that one game that we actually like want to play that's not fucking 2K.
Mm-hmm.
Like that takes full priority on one.
I still want to play 2K. I'm trying to be motivation.
That shit's just like a fucking abusive relationship with me at this point.
Yeah, I feel that.
I be putting time into the game, and you be like, yeah, this shit hard, and then you'll run into some cheesy shit like 3 games in a row that make you hate the game again, or some toxic nigga.
More so, it's just hard to find a consistent vibe. I'll live with annoying cheesiness if we got a full squad. Like dealing with that with the random or with a temporary person to come in, it's aggravating.
It adds to the frustration, man.
Which is nigga Ethan like basketball like that. That should be fucking easy, but
I wish
his work schedule was worse than mine.
You said what?
His work schedule worse than mine.
Yeah, that nigga's schedule changes up like from every 2 weeks.
Cool.
I'd be like, all right, bro, we can switch it around again, I guess. I ain't tripping. And it gives me time to like do shit because now I got all the time. I got like a whole week to fucking work on the Jeopardy game and probably cut that video. I may have that shit finished by the end of this weekend, low key.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see. I already got the categories done. I got to go through it and make sure the questions are vetted in the correct way.
Yeah, bro. I went stupid, Charlie. I bought a crazy ass mic. Some German company made it. The crazy cinema rig. I bought a shoulder stabilizer and shit.
Yeah, how's the short? I sent you a text earlier today, but how the fucking short phone going?
Oh, that was you. I thought. See, bro.
Did you get a new phone?
No, I was just finished talking to this dude, and his name is Dez. And he saved my phone, it's Dez. And I'm like, I just finished talking to him. I'm like, wow, is he asking me about the movie? Like, I just finished talking to him. Like, he's saying this like I just didn't finish talking to him. And I didn't respond. And I was, now it says Dev, not Dez. I swear.
You got me in your phone as Dev is the problem. I'm like,
that's the thing. I'm not changing to Charlie. I just remember your goddamn PSN name for so long ago, man. I just never left it.
What's crazy is I put that shit out of my mind. I'd be like, damn, that really was my name for the longest time.
Yeah, bro. It's always Dev.
That's literally why we still randomly call you Dev.
And that's why
because on my screen I had my shit changed for the longest time, and so I never saw it like that. And I was like, oh, that's fucking ass. That's my fucking cousin made that shit a long time ago. We were trying to think of a name because every other name we wanted to use was taken. And this nigga just used my biological father's full name for our fucking gamer tag. So I'm like, I have this deadbeat nigga name as my fucking gamer tag for years. And that's before they let you change it. Nigga, as soon as they let you change that shit, I changed that shit the next day. I was like, yeah, fuck this shit.
I didn't know the story was that real. I just been calling you that.
That's why I never really I was never mad at it because again that's how niggas met me, but I never fucking even I kind of ignored it whenever I heard the fucking name.
Just like, bro, that's literally not even my name. That's like not even my name.
This shit was wild. Bro. All because my cousin was lazy as fuck. I'm like, thank God that you changed that shit, nigga. Oh, fuck. I had a whole fucking thought and just lost it. But nah, bro. A nigga did the blackest shit I've ever done in my life at this fucking conference, nigga. You get there and initially you're gonna think at a professionals conference in higher ed that it's gonna be a bunch of old white folks or white folks in general. And then there are about maybe 10. There's a lot of white people, don't get me wrong, but there's about 10 to 15 negros that pulled up. And it was the most beautiful thing because during the day, during all the sessions and whatnot, when we're asking questions and leading the sessions, it was just dominated by all these intellectual black folks. And then at night, when the sessions were over with, niggas was outside acting ignorant as fuck. It was beautiful. Niggas had me outside every fucking night for 6 days straight. I was fucking exhausted. We got dancing, smoking hookah and feeling shit, and it was a whole thing. It was a vibe. Met some amazing cohorts and have an extensive network of professional individuals in higher ed now. So if I ever need a job or want a job, I'm just one phone call away and I probably can find an opening.
That's what it's about.
And women were fucking fine. Oh my God, nigga. There are so many fine ass black women, nigga. You get to hang around fine women for 6 days straight and cool niggas. It was just, oh man, this was beautiful. It low-key made me wish I went to HBCU. I'm not gonna lie, because you just got to be unapologetically black at all times.
See, this is why we gotta get you the blerd card, because that's what that is. And even to nth level, everybody there is a nerd. They're there for some nerd thing or several, knowing most people.
Yeah, she was dope. The funny shit was when we all had the code switch at the same time because we went back to the day sessions with the white people. So we all the niggas sit up front and then all the white folks and everybody else sit in the middle to the back. And it was hilarious. We just dominated the fucking conference. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And they got 6 job offers. I was like, all right, this is kind of wild, but I'm not moving to Kentucky or Louisville right now.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I got
people move to Kentucky. I thought they just moved from there.
I mean, I guess I got offers from them, University of Florida, University of South Carolina, Texas A&M, UTA. Am I missing school? East Carolina University. I think that's it. It was wild. It was the only one I would probably consider is maybe Texas. Probably Texas. Part of me thinks about Florida, but I feel like Gainesville is literal hell. I had to pick a place that was hell on earth. It'd probably be Gainesville, Florida. Now let me just
Gaines,
out.
where is Gainesville, Florida? What is there?
I served with
That's
somebody that was
redneck.
from there.
Besides the University of Florida, fucking gators, humidity, sadness, depression, fire and brimstone.
I told you, bro, Sanctuary was gonna be what? Texas or Florida? And look what Charlie said. Sanctuary is those places.
That's why I literally was like, yeah, nigga, this shit's not it. But if the niggas gonna pay for a graduate degree at some point, maybe I'll go there. We'll see. Maybe. And I'm probably go to grad school like a year and a half, maybe like a year or two, and find somebody that's gonna pay for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Be fucking annoying.
I'm definitely gonna do it for free, cause boy,
I ain't paying for that bullshit. Not doing it. I refuse. I rebuke it in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let me see. I missed the whole finals game. Yep, Denver up 3-1. This is the route.
yeah.
I called that shit, nigga. I said Denver in 5 and reneged on my process and said in 6. But yeah, I've been with that shit. Niggas need to put some respect on that motherfucking nigga Jokic's name.
I mean, it still could be in 6.
That shit's over with next game. Well, maybe Jimmy.
I don't know, like who at this point is disrespecting Jokic. You can't.
The chats I'm in. I mean, I'm in the chat with y'all, and y'all are like, you guys are. We don't have narrative conversations. I'm in another chat with other basketball podcasts I get asked to come on, and half the niggas in there are narrative driven in how they review and think about basketball. And they mix in some factual evidence, but then they use that to push narratives. And I either come across as the stat guy or come across as the guy that will reconfigure conversations to benefit me when I'm really just stating the obvious. It's just an old head and other young niggas that act like
Jokic is a pass first big man that can do it all. He's the best big man in the league. There's nothing to say anything other than that would make you sound like a hater that doesn't watch basketball.
So what it is, like, people, they won't argue that point. What they'll do is they'll say he's that because of a reasoning, or when you look at it in the greater context, dude's probably like a top 6, top 5 offensive player to ever play the game of basketball. But it also depends on what you see as offense. Are you just talking about scoring? He said, no, he's not one of the top 5 scorers of all time. But if you're involving everything else plus the scoring, he's a top 5 player because he generates so much fucking efficient offense single-handedly and is literally damn near unguardable in single coverage and really extremely difficult to guard in double coverage because he can fucking dime up open people like almost instantly because he just reads it. He reads double teams extremely well. And you have to have like a very particular type of big, like you have to have an Anthony Davis level big man to slow him down. And even then, AD is only able to like to slow him down and stop him on like 2 games really. And that's only due to because the nigga is just not in the best shape. And that's in the 4 quarters. So it takes that level of defense to stop that one, like in single coverage. You have to have like a defensive player of the year candidate type of player to stop him in single coverage. Even then,
Should have healthy Ben Simmons.
Oh god, shit! You seen the fucking pictures of Ben Simmons now?
Stop,
that nigga's
bro.
lifting. That nigga looks like a fucking Terminator, nigga.
I was just like, bro, we see this all the time. At this point, I'll be happy if Ben Simmons can give us Aaron Gordon production.
That nigga about to drop a video next week of him shooting 15,000 threes in a row in open gym. All pull-ups. That'll look like Andre Drummond in the Drew League. But yeah, those are the individuals that I have those. I have sensible conversations with y'all. Well, I really want to troll and get my shit off and just like fuck with niggas. I go in that chat because they're I'm not gonna say they're easy. That sounds disrespectful, but they're
easily triggered.
Not even part one nigga is in there. One guy is triggered because he just is convinced I have the worst takes ever, and I'm like the ultimate biased Laker fan, which I am, but he thinks I'm a toxic biased Laker fan. So that's the perception he has of me in his mind. So he gets triggered whenever I say something like that. It's funny. I love it. It's where I love to start fires and then run away. I'll start a fire and then that chat on mute.
That's Lanimus.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful. I love it. That's where I get my toxicity off.
I mean, that's what I do on Facebook. And see, I know this is gonna make people argue for hours. So I'm just gonna drop it and then put my phone away.
Oh, nigga, I'd be like, one of these days I'm gonna get bored and just being there and be like, Braun greater than Jordan. Jordan play with plumbers, and just leave that shit and just put that shit on mute and just watch the fire fucking burn.
That's too easy.
Yeah, I know, but it's so much fun.
I'd be like,
that's low hanging fruit. You can do that.
What I love doing though is fucking fun at AI and T-Mac. Niggas are fucking losers if we keep it a buck, but niggas ride for them so much because they were cool. And I'm like, yeah, I get they were cool, but the niggas were not. Like, if we keep it at a buck, niggas should have as much hate for T-Mac as they have for James Harden. When you talk about niggas not performing in the playoffs and niggas just putting up regular season numbers and whatever else. Especially Allen Iverson. Like, if we let's be 100% unbiased here and look at shit and keep it a buck. Steve Nash is better than Allen Iverson all time.
What?
Yes. Steve Nash, he's a better player. He's a better shooter. He's more efficient. He's ran more efficient offenses, and his offenses are more conducive to winning than Allen Iverson. And he's not as easy to guard and to game plan against because he can pass the ball in an extreme fashion. Exactly. Versus an inefficient Allen Iverson, who is a lot easier to guard, who is not going to run an offense.
Brandon, you put AI and Steve Nash on the same team, and goodness.
Oh yeah, that'd be disgusting. Well,
I mean, you put them on the same court against each other, and Nash is getting cooked.
Getting cooked. Yeah, absolutely.
AI is getting cooked. If we keep it at a buck, because again, another thing that people don't really realize, Steve Nash is also like one of the top 10 best shooters to ever play the game of basketball as well. Some you could argue like top 5.
I mean, but they have played each other, and like, I mean, so
and how did those turn out? How did those matchups turn out?
I mean, it actually pretty mixed. So I mean, Allen Iverson consistently scores more, but typically, Nash wins those since he's had better team.
Because he runs more efficient offenses. Like, he can run an offense. Like, AI is an offense, but Steve Nash can score.
That's why they ended up having to say AI was a 2-guard, man. Like, AI was a bucket.
All right.
You wanted him to be a bucket.
Exactly. And that kind of player works when you have when you have a Steve Nash next to him, that kind of player works. That's the Hardens, those are the kind of players that need that. Maybe not Harden as much, because Harden's a really good playmaker. Maybe like a T-Mac, like AIs and T-Macs, they need those playmakers to make their job easier, so they don't have to get everyone else involved. They're not that's what differentiates a Kobe versus a T-Mac, is the fact that Kobe's going to score, but he also can get other people involved to an extent to where he's not that easy to guard.
But I mean, like, it's weird that you say that specifically. Like, you bring Kobe into it because, like, Kobe had the utmost respect for those two guys specifically.
Yeah,
like,
they
Kobe
were hard.
says himself, like, if AI was 6'8", it's done.
Yeah, he's talking about them as far as him like stopping them. Like, they were hard for him to guard. He's not evaluating their overall basketball skill set.
I mean, he used to like
in that same vein,
famous stories of Kobe taking T-Mac out of the country to train together to play basketball. Like, he respected his overall game. It wasn't, oh, you're a good scorer, so I'm gonna call you my hardest cover because
they're also like friends that grew up with each other, so they're not gonna evaluate unbiasedly. Because in that same token, a player that plays fairly similar play style as him and James Harden, he's discussed how like
older, like he was the big bro in that particular situation. Like, Kobe was in the league like 3-4 years when T-Mac was a rookie.
Yeah, them niggas were fairly the same age though. Like, even before he got drafted, them niggas were at theme parks and amusement parks together and shit. They were hanging out. They were friends. So they have that friend relationship. They're not going to be unbiased and reviewing each other's. Like, he's not going to call him a bum, obviously, and like say get that far, but he's not going to point out all this.
But Kobe has friends that he will call a bum if they are a bum. He's not that type of player that's like,
because he played with them niggas. He played with them. They're his teammates. He has to do that to lead. Who was he called a bum that wasn't his teammate? That was his friend. He's done the Paul because he had to motivate Powell and shit like that. He's motivating the niggas, but he's not doing that with his friends that are on other opposing teams. He didn't do that to AI. Like, he's not doing that to them niggas.
But AI was good enough to get a nobody team to a finals game and a finals and actually steal a game off of them. That's not a small feat.
It's not a small feat, but when you look at the rest of his career, he did what with those same types of rosters. Because even that's also what you're talking about as far as like them playing with other players. We've seen AI play with other comparable like stars in like a Carmelo Anthony, and how that was inefficient there, and those teams suffered, and how they went about stuff, and even how Melo Flux
versus post prime AI.
AI wasn't that far gone, but he was still like a 20-point game scorer. And even then, which is even crazier, because by that point he should take less shots and be less involved, being an older past his prime, but yet he's still trying to play the same way because that's how he played. That's him as a player. Versus the Steve Nash, who at every level of his career has played with other significant superstars, and those superstars have thrived next to him and been successful. Rather that be Dirk, rather it be anybody like Amari Stoudemire. Hell, in a couple games he could play with LA with Dwight Howard. Him and Dwight were playing really fairly good together. He said that nigga Dwight wanted post-ups for whatever reason. But whenever in the pick and roll, the shit was good. Like Nash at every stop with every type of star at every level and every offense he's been in has been extremely efficient, has been extremely conducive to winning. And again, you can talk about
same championships as T-Mac and
he's a better player. Not everybody win. You can be a better player and not win a ring.
And you say they're conducive to winning.
I mean, winning teams. Like, he wasn't getting bounced out of the first round or wasn't getting bounced out of the playoff. Not making the playoffs. He was making the playoffs and losing against Kobe. Again, like he was playing against some of the best teams that ever existed, some of the best players that ever exist, and getting deep and losing to them, not losing the first 2 rounds.
I mean, you play Kobe first round versus play Kobe in the in the conference finals. Like, it's still the same level of difficulty.
I wouldn't say that because you already like you know how well Kobe specifically. Yeah, I'll give you that, Kobe, because that nigga is not playing any differently at all. But we're not gonna act like some teams don't like coast in the first round. Plus, they don't play in the first round for the fact of he's never the 8th seed. He's never that bad of a team. Steve Nash's teams are usually top 5 teams in the NBA. He never got that bad. And it's not like he's playing with like Shaq all the time. He's playing like he played with stars like a Dirk, and like he's playing with stars like a Dirk. And it depends on how you see Amari Stoudemire, because he's definitely not on that Dirk type of level. But he's played with, I'd argue, the similar talent as AI outside of the Philly days. But that's comparable to me. Looking at this career,
to go from that Dallas team, which was great, to that Suns team that he had. That's like to compare that Suns team to that Philadelphia team that AI dragged to the finals.
But why were those Suns team running at their most optimal levels though? Like if Steve Nash
had great players and a great point guard. I'm not going to try to discredit Steve Nash and say that he's not a great point guard, which he is. But to say that he's a better player than Allen Iverson and T-Mac is ludicrous to me. Like that makes no sense.
It's not. Because you okay. So if we're talking about like the level of players, right, and the level of quality of players, that team had good players, but that team without Steve Nash they're probably not getting out of the first round. Like you could I hate the argument, but if you could pick up fucking Steve Nash and input Allen Iverson on that team's not getting as far. Because that team's not running as efficiently. They don't.
Because they have a guy to close out a game with. That was the weakness of that Suns team. There was no closeout person on that team, right? Like there's no person like you put the ball in their hands and they can get you 5 baskets straight at the end of a clock at the end of the game.
That's
to
literally
close out
just Joe Johnson.
He had Joe Johnson for 1 year in Phoenix, didn't he?
I'll check. But the nigga's nickname is literally ISO Joe because that's what he did for a career. They had that player. The niggas were playing Kobe Bryant in the conference.
If you think Joe Johnson is a better player or is anywhere near the same caliber as Allen
a
Iverson
closer.
or a T-Mac?
You're talking about a closer. Now, if you talk about they didn't have a superstar caliber closer guy, cool, we can talk about that. But that we've seen those guys. Like again, we've seen T-Mac beat not T-Mac. We've seen T-Mac too. T-Mac's even worse. T-Mac's even worse when you're talking to them, comparing them, because T-Mac's played with significantly more talent and better teams than Allen Iverson has, and is more comparable to Steve Nash, but is performed way less successfully in the playoffs. Even from like a scoring standpoint, like he just scored worse at different instances in the playoffs. The nigga's career is oddly similar to James Harden if we're keeping it a buck. He just had to play with like a KD level player.
Yeah. You know, I mean, also the fact that T-Mac had some major injuries throughout the course of his career too.
And at the end, yeah, Steve Nash did as well. They both had relatively short careers with injuries.
Like career, T-Mac had major time out even during his prime seasons where he was injured.
How old was he when he was playing in Atlanta?
When T-Mac was in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
T-Mac played in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Like near the end of his career, there's a whole. Did you not remember that clip of like him spitting gum out his mouth, or he would always have gum under his? Matter of fact, I'll show you better than I can tell you. T-Mac played for a good bit, but he just wasn't the same dude. Like
I mean, T-Mac after Houston was not a star caliber player anymore.
Steve Nash the year before he goes to LA was either he was like all NBA third team or some shit like that. Like literally after like the season he got to LA with that back injury was the season that he just like tanked because I think his body just completely caved in when he's old as hell. So you're arguing peak, I give the Steve Nash. You're arguing longevity, I give the Steve Nash even with major injuries at the end. You're also arguing his fit next to other talent.
I give like could you peak you're talking about peak Tracy McGrady versus Steve Nash. You're giving that to Steve Nash?
Yes, I am.
This conversation's done. I'm in the stream. I'm into the stream.
You can end the stream if you want. End the stream if you want to end the stream.